your desire to manifest insane amount of money, it's not greedy and it's not shallow, but it is your birthright. Did you ever have people try to guilt trip you into wanting tons of money? Like, did you ever have people kind of imply that you were kind of dumb or superficial for wanting like extremes amounts of money? Well, let's just say that it only comes from people that don't have any of that. Imagine Jeff Bezos telling you that you shouldn't want more. So you see, it is your birthright that you want more money, right? To have more money. So we're going to break it down and explain to you how really and truly this is a divine desire, right? Not only is it your soul's wish to expand, right? But it is exactly the way in which the universe unfolds its purpose, right? How you become part of the universe's purpose. You see, poverty is not noble, and poverty does not help the planet, help the earth, or anything like that. It doesn't help you or your family. And you're thinking, well, poverty is like an extreme thought. But just think about survival, right? When you're just living paycheck to paycheck or living a small life, when inside you want more. Okay? So you want more not because you're greedy. You want more because it serves the purpose of the highest good for all, right? So when you are able to manifest every desire that you have, right? Oftentimes via money, right? Money is a resource that you can use to fulfill every manifestation and desire that you could possibly have, right? So when you are yourself fulfilled, you are able to fill the cup of others, right? So you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's, you know, one of the premises, right? Only when you have manifested your desires can you even start thinking about other people, right? You see, growing up, I used to see my mother suppress every single desire she had. In fact, she didn't even dare to dream, right? So, because she was not fulfilled, because she didn't, allow herself to desire and to dream, right? Then it meant that everybody else was greedy for wanting the crazy thing, right? The crazy thing, right? So when you yourself are not an example of an abundant life to your children and to the people that you care about, right? How can you possibly live life to your fullest and become the role model that you so want, right? So, abundance is something that is inherent in nature, in the universe. See, when a tree, leaves its seeds fall, it's not just one seed that falls. It's millions of seeds, right? When it rains, there's not a drop of rain, there's tons of rain, right? And if you think about that example, right? Lack and scarcity are something that is a human construct, right? You're not meant to live in scarcity, it's not natural, okay? So, the other thing that I want to talk to you about, the other thing I want to say to you is that a lot of times you think that by feeling guilty about others' circumstances or poverty, that you're doing any good to anyone else. You even think that charity is actually giving or helping solve the problem of poverty, right? But I'm going to tell you exactly what solves the problem of poverty. And that is when you become an example of what is possible, when you go first, that's when you can actually inspire others to know that it's possible, right? Like if I speak about my own example, so there was somebody in YouTube, or a lot of people in YouTube that I used to really, really admire back in the day. And of course, they were, super rich and that kind of stuff. Well, I was living a life keeping myself small. I wasn't dreaming big because I didn't want to seem ungrateful with all the stuff that I had already manifested, right? So I used to see them and watch their channels. And that's what basically not gave me permission, but what made me see that it was possible to achieve stuff that I didn't even know was possible, right? So by them going first and showing what's possible, it's when I really was able to take the leap, right, of entrepreneurship and becoming a coach and going on YouTube and all of that stuff, right? It was a portal of expansion for me, right? You see, being on YouTube and being on camera, like, see, I am the most extremely introverted person, if you will, right? And I don't even have like personal Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, right? I'm not a camera person. So seeing what other people had done, right, it made me really um, understand that it's so important to get out of your comfort zone, right? So I was finally able to step out of my comfort zone and conquer my biggest fear. And the whole topic of visibility, which is a whole journey on itself, right? So it was because of others that had gone before that I took the leap, because at the time I didn't know anyone that had the life that I want, right? So that is exactly what solves the problem of poverty, not giving, a few things here and there to people, right? Of course you can do that, but the biggest thing you can do is to go first and be that inspiration. So if you were made, to feel guilty or shame about wanting to be filthy rich, I want you to know that this internal desire to want that is natural, and it's your birthright, and it's inherent in nature. The only thing that is not in nature is lack. So let me know in the comments if it resonates with you and what has made you take the leap to actually go for more. So I'll see you on the next. Bye.